Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel, as well as my other YouTube channels, and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons & Dragons monster video on the Yeti. I've started doing cryptid stories, cryptid encounters on my YouTube channel, so I figured I'd do the Yeti as a D&D monster. So here we go. Anyone who is a Bigfoot believer or even has a passing interest in the phenomena will know what a Yeti is. This is Bigfoot's meaner carnivorous cousin. Yeti can be found on page 103 of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual. Yeah, tongue-tied. Be sure to read through the description very thoroughly before you use them in your game. There's a lot about these creatures that they're not just your average, hack and slash thug type characters. You gotta put some thought into them. Because Yeti blend into their surroundings very well, they are nearly invisible beyond 30 feet of their prey. So unless you get right on them, it's hard to see them. Yeti are of average intelligence, meaning they can plan and execute tactical assaults and ambushes with precision. Okay? Keep that in mind. They have intelligence. They're not dumb animals. They have, intelligence. Be sure to note that the number of attacks and the attack methodology in the description are not exactly normal, so keep that in mind. Any victim surprised by a Yeti must make a savings throw versus paralyzation, or be rigid with fright for 3 melee rounds. This gives 2 rounds of automatic hits as well as the chilling squeeze. The chilling squeeze does 4d6 plus 2d8 total damage for a total of 6 to 40 points of damage. In normal combat, a critical, natural 20, means that the Yeti has grabbed and squeezed the victim. If they're paralyzed, then they automatically get the squeeze. So, yeah. The number appearing is only 1 to 6, because there's not a whole lot of these things. But that means it's probably a family unit, meaning father and sons and daughters. The females, the adult females are usually back at the lair, with the young ones, as it were. So the father and the sons and daughters will go out and forage for food, find food, bring it back. Again, average human intelligence. Okay? They're not stupid. They're not, they're intelligent thinking creatures. Yeti are very fond of human flesh. They are not the gentle giants that you see in Harry and the Hendersons. These guys live in areas where there's not a lot of vegetation. They're ideally in our world, they're from the Himalayan mountains, the Himalayas. There's not a lot of vegetation up there. So, yeah, they have to be carnivorous. Because Yeti are intelligent and like to eat people, as a dungeon master, I suggest running them accordingly. 1 to 6 Yeti can spot a group of player characters trekking through the snow. They can bury themselves in the snow or otherwise hide themselves. Since cold doesn't really affect them, they can, they are vulnerable to heat, like fireballs and things like that. But cold doesn't really affect them. They're acclimated to it. When the group draws into the kill zone, they can spring their trap. They can bury themselves in the snow and lay there, and when the group gets close, they jump up and attack. Just such a thing happened to a group of player characters I was part of in my friend Gerald's game. Gerald is a devious so-and-so. He runs a great, great game. The Yeti... These Yetis sprung the trap, and everyone had to make savings throws versus paralyzation. Out of 5 player characters, 2 of them failed their saves. Both I and my friend John were frozen with fear. My player character died, and John's was down. 2 quick critical strikes by the Yetis, and 2 more of our party were down. The last, a thief, turned and ran. There were 4 Yetis. One of them stayed behind to finish off the down player characters, while the remaining 3 Yetis ran the thief down and killed him. It was a total party kill. 3 of the 5 player characters never even got to roll initiatives. Yeah, Yetis can be badass if you use them properly. In my opinion, Yetis, being acclimated to the cold, they're always going to be found in cold, snowy regions. So that gives them the advantage. They can spring traps in that type of a terrain better than most. And again, because they're acclimated to the snow, they can hide and remain motionless for hours. They can set up ambushes probably better than most in the Arctic, better than most special forces. These, and I gotta stress this, these are not dumb animals. They are intelligent, thinking creatures. And a lot of the time, I being average, I would imagine they could probably use magic items. So that's another aspect that not a lot of people think. If you're a thinking creature and you know what magic is and what it does, theoretically you could probably be a magic user, or at least a cleric if you worship a god. But having, a magic wand that you know how to use, or maybe becoming a wizard, or becoming what do you call it? A collector of magic items. There was a word I was thinking of a minute ago, and it vacated my mind. But the point I'm getting at is a Yeti with a magical weapon would be nasty. A Yeti with a magic item, like a wand or a staff or a rod, could be nasty. The point I'm getting at is these are thinking creatures. They can do this. It all depends on how you run them in your game. And any idiot can fight a creature in the snow with fire. Sometimes you got to beef them up a little bit. I'm just saying. And again, I'm not trying to tell people how to run their games, how to run their monsters. I'm just giving advice from a guy who's been doing this a long damn time. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. Clarissa Lowe, a historian from the future. Delmore Kane, a Civil War veteran turned outlaw. This oddball pairing faces a conspiracy of epic proportions spanning the centuries. If you like action and adventure westerns with a splash of science fiction and fantasy, check out my book series Drifters and their ongoing adventures.